Welcome back to the channel. My name is Tronage, and today we're going to be talking about the Mobius Mini Action Cam. And what we're also going to be talking about is the relationship between me and this channel and you, the viewer. This video is existing because of a comment from one of our viewers. Name is Chris Thiel. Gave me the suggestion to check out the Mobius Mini, so here we are. So keep those comments coming, because that's how this channel evolves, and that's where the type of content I'm going to give you guys is what you want to see is what you're going to get. So keep those comments going. So we're going to do a little bit of an unboxing of the Mobius Mini. We're going to compare it to the SQ11. Field of view, weight, size, that sort of thing. And then we're going to strap it on to my HGLRC XJB 145. Yes, that's a big mouthful to say or to remember. Stay tuned. So the Mobius Mini Action Cam. Got the idea from one of my viewers. His name is Chris Thiel, and here's his comment that he posted. And essentially what he was saying is, hey, check this out. So I am. And rather than just checking it out for myself, I'm checking it out with you too. Here's the unit right now. And unlike a lot of unboxings that you may see on YouTube, it always seems like the person gets the thing in the mail, rip, open, gets all excited, plays with it all, then packs it back into the box, and then films the unboxing. I don't need to see you take it out of the box. The whole purpose of an unboxing video is to get the reaction of what you see when you open it. So, you're like fake unboxing, I guess. When I do an unboxing, I'm opening it for the first time with you guys. This way you can see my immediate reactions, and we can find out what's in this box together. The other advantage to doing it that way is it gets me to make videos quicker, because I would have to sit and stare at this box on my countertop and not play with it until I shot the video, which ain't gonna happen. That promotes me to shoot the videos fast so that I can get them out to you, because I want to play with the product. Enough with that little disclaimer. Why don't you come a little closer? We'll unbox this thing together. We'll see what's in this package, and we'll take it from there and see where it leads us. So, right, come on, come a little closer. Let's take a look and see what's in the box. So this is exactly how I received it from Amazon. It was in this bag and taped shut, and just in case, I did bring my X-Acto knife this time, because the packaging on that XJB, I thought I could just rip open. So just in case, I have my handy X-Acto blade ready to go. So let's break the tape on this. Take it out of the plastic bag. The box itself has no markings or indications on it at all on the outside, which is fine by me. I'd rather a manufacturer spend money on the product and not the packaging. I like the packaging to be protective. That's important, but I don't need it to have any fancy graphics or colors, and this box has none of that. It does look like it's going to be a magnet closure. Yes, it's a magnet closure, so we can see that. Wow. So let's open this guy up. Okay, so what we have in here is a little card. It was purchased by a company called Spytech, so I have a little card here that has their information about it, I guess, and all their information. And then on the back here, looks like a phone number, their warranty, all that fun stuff. So there you go. Let's put that to the side. Then the meat and the potatoes of this. Let's open this up. A little piece of foam here. Let's peel that up and see what's underneath. So there's the, wow. All right, so I can already see it looks a little smaller than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, it definitely looks... I can tell you this much right off the bat. This is definitely a smaller camera than I thought this was going to be when I originally bought it, looking at the pictures. I mean, it's not as small as the SQ11, but it is small. It does have some weight to it, though. A lot more weight than the SQ11, but we'll get into that. So there's the camera. And then I'm going to guess in here is going to be the accessories. Hang on. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so in here, we'll put this to the side. We'll put the box to the side. Foam to the side. And my X-Acto knife, I guess I'm not going to need, so we'll put it to the side. We have a little bag here of some accessories, so I'll pour those out. Okay, so we have a USB cable, so that's going to be for hooking it up to the computer, charging it, maybe hooking it up as a webcam. I think it can do that. I was reading through the instructions while I was waiting for it, so we'll see how that, maybe to do some programming on it. We'll check that out. Looks like a fancy cable, has the USB on the end. Oh, one thing to note is the USB that this does use is the Mini. It's the one that's kind of like a trapezoid shape instead of the rounded one. So it's the older USB standard. So I don't know if you guys can see it, but that's the standard it's using. And then this cable looks kind of like a breakout cable so that you can hook it up to something else. I'm not sure what yet, but if I had to take a guess by looking at the colors of the wires, I'm going to say we have ground on all three. Red's going to be our power line. And then yellow is probably going to be video, and white is probably going to be audio. But don't quote me on that because I'm just guessing by looking at the cable. But this is probably more if you wanted to hook it up to like more of a security camera installation, where instead of like an action cam like we're going to be using it. So I don't think I'm going to be using this cable much at all. We also have, oh, that is cool. Okay, so they gave an extra lens cap. How cool is that? I mean, this comes off and there's your lens, but they give you an extra one. And you know what? That may not seem like a big deal, but you know what? If you lose this lens cap, you're going to be crying because you got what else you're going to put on there to cover that lens. This is nice that they gave you a second one. You just keep it in the box with the other accessories, and then if ever you do lose this one, you know where this one is and you pop that one on to go. So that's a nice little touch. So that makes me happy. We have a piece of Velcro, it looks like. Yeah. Some Velcro, so if you wanted to mount it by just Velcroing it to something, you can just mount it to something with the Velcro. And this looks really cool. This looks like basically a tripod mount. So with the screws that are included and this mount, it can attach this to the bottom of the camera. And then it has, looks like the 1/4 inch tripod mount screw. I won't be using that because I'm going to try to 3D print something, I think, instead. Although I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but we'll figure it out. Let's compare it to the SQ11 first in size. So here's the SQ11 right here, and here's the Mobius Mini. Now, as you can see, size-wise, it's at least a little over maybe 2 times as long. It's about 2/3 as tall. So I would say, I'll put that information up on the screen now so you can see size-wise where it stacks up. The weight of it, I also addressed that, but we'll do another reweigh right here now. So let's turn on our scale, get it zeroed. Okay, so here is the SQ11 by itself. It is 9.8 grams. And the Mobius Mini by itself is 27 grams. This camera does come with 2 versions of the lens. This is lens A. Lens A has a 110 degree field of view as spec'd. There's also a version of this that has a lens B, which I believe has like 130. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. And when comparing the screenshots of the field of views between the two of them, it wasn't very major of a difference. Considering that the field of view that I was fighting with was this one, having that very narrow field of view, that if this has a field of view of 110 degrees, that's essentially what I measured the field of view of the HGLRC XJB 145 camera to be. So if it's equal to that field of view, then I'll be very happy with it. So I got to go charge this up, and we'll come back and we'll see how it works. All right, so I've had a chance to charge it up and use it. And I went in and did a couple of the changes to the settings and stuff. It was actually really easy to use the software that you can download from their website on it. I'll put a little there. Now you're seeing basically the screen, how to update the firmware. You can synchronize the time. You can change all the different settings. It has 2 presets for video recording. You can set what resolutions that those will be running at while you're recording. The software was quite intuitive to use and change all the different settings, much easier than the SQ11, so that I thoroughly enjoyed. The other thing, when I was doing a little bit of research, basically, from my understanding, something about this gets hot. So they're saying that the bottom, it shouldn't be attached to something directly from the bottom because this can get hot and that heat can damage the unit. So I enabled in the settings, you can invert the image so that you can use the camera upside down and it'll be right side up essentially. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So when you see me using it from now on and you see the screw holes up, that's because I enabled the image to be inverted so that this side would be up, because if we're going to be mounting this into a quad or something, I would want the top that needs to get cooled the most be on the top surface. Here you can see it with the XJB, and if I was just going to mount it right flat on top of it, it's a pretty good fit, I would say, along with my antenna modification there. So my camera's at a pretty upward angle, so it would probably catch seeing the Mobius in its field of view. Now what I'm probably going to be doing is I'm going to need to put this up at some sort of a degree angle. Probably, I would guess maybe like a 30-degree angle, something like that. I'm sure you guys want to know what the audio sounds like, what the video looks like, and that sort of thing. So we'll do the same little test like we did with the SQ11. And I'll video right here. Obviously, later on, we're going to rip it around and fly it. But just so you can get an idea what it looks like. So let's turn this on first. It's on. And it's showing me a yellow light, which means it's on recording preference 1, which I have configured right now to be 1080p at 60 frames a second. And then I will push the shutter button, which is on this side here. And now it should be recording. So here we can see the video of what it looks like. I don't really know what we're going to be seeing, but you get a little bit of an idea of what it should look like. And now I'll fade over to the internal microphone of the unit so you can hear what the audio sounds like from the device, from the Mobius Mini, if you will. And now we'll fade back to my mic that I've been using, and let's fade away that video back to the normal video. And now I will stop this recording and I will turn it off. So that's what you can expect as far as just simple viewing. I also did a field of view test, which I'm going to show the results of shortly. But to recap, in case you missed how to do the field of view test, you can get this field of view marker. You take your camera, you start over here, and if you can see what you're doing, you just move it forward and back until the lines that look like they're radiating start to turn to straight lines and line up with the edge of the screen. If you can't see what you're doing, like here, there's no viewfinder, you're just recording, what I do is I just slowly move the camera forward and then I back the camera up like this, and you'll see how I do it. And the idea is that where this point is where you want the optical sensor to be. So obviously up here it's a little overkill and it's moot because the optical sensor is not that far back. But basically you're just trying to line that point up as you move this forward and back. And when I did the measurements, I'll show you the screenshot up now, that I measured this to be about a 90-degree field of view. So it's spec'd out to be 110 degrees. I measured it using this technique to be about 90 degrees because I got about 45 degrees on either side to where the lines started to turn parallel to each other, which I would say is quite acceptable. When I measured the XJB, I measured it out to be, I believe, 100 degrees or a little bit more than that. So basically, what I'm thinking is this camera has a slightly narrower field of view than the quad, but it's definitely on par. It's not going to be like the SQ11 where it's a very narrow field of view. So it should perform decently, but to avoid people running out and getting it and then turning out I don't like it, I'm actually, the part 2 of this video, when I mount it and I fly it around and then I view the footage, I'm not going to post this video until that's all prepared. So it's going to come out all at once in one video, the whole shebang. Part 1 and part 2 are all going to be one video about the results of how this worked when I put it on this quad and flew it around, and then I give you my final thoughts so I can tell you how this worked out. Alright, so here's what I came up with for a mount for the Mobius Mini. It's pretty simple. It's really just a little frame that holds the Mobius from moving, little standoff that puts it at a 30-degree angle, and some little cutouts to put a zip tie. So let's see what it weighs. We're zeroed. My mount, 5.7 grams. The mount that comes with the quad comes in at 3.6. So essentially my mount weighs 2 extra grams. What I'm gaining for those 2 extra grams I feel is more important. Primarily the issue I have is that the way this attaches to the top of the quad, this button that goes into the piece of carbon fiber, right now that's where my receiver is located, so that would kind of smash into there. So I don't really have that kind of clearance for that to be there in the first place. As well, it doesn't offer the same, I don't want to say protection, because this doesn't really offer much protection, but this wraps around and kind of gives a little bit more bite to the unit and keeps it from sliding and moving, and I know it's a very predictable where it's going to be. So I'm going to be sticking with the one that I made over the one that came with it, just because it's just a little bit easier to use. So let's get this on the quad, and we'll do 1, 2, 3, and it's on. If only it was that easy. No, really, I just did a little swap, but I still have one right here. Haha. All right, so here's what it looks like on the quad. Here's what it looks like with the Mobius mounted to it. You can see I just have some zip ties holding it onto the quad, and I have some zip ties holding it onto the Mobius. What's great about this is I have access to everything. Oh, that was the other reason why I didn't want to use this mount, is because this mount would block the USB port in the back, so you wouldn't be able to charge it. You'd have to keep taking it on and off the quad to charge it, and with only a half-hour battery life, you'd be taking it on and off the quad all the time. With this mount, I have it high enough so that I can just plug my wire right into the back. It has perfect clearance, so I can charge it while it's still attached. I have access to both the shutter buttons and the settings buttons. I have access to my memory card. I have access to the power button. I have access to all the buttons and everything, so nothing gets blocked. Nothing is hampered by it being there at all. I'm happy with the way this mount came out, so now we're going to go take it for a fly and see how it works, because I'm quite excited to check this bad boy out. Just got back from flying my HGLRC XJB 145, and let me tell you, it is always a pleasure flying this quad. If you don't have one of these guys and you're in the market for a 3-inch quad, this is the one that you're going to want to get, because it is so much fun. You have, like, you can see it's an extended X. It just, I can't go into it. If you want to check out my reviews about it, you can check out that video up in the cards there. And let me just tell you, these new props I put on here, these are the Gemfan 30-52s. 30 because they're 3-inch, 3.0 inches, and 52, meaning that they are 52 degrees pitch on the blades. So it's a little bit more of an aggressive prop, but it's going to give you a little bit punchier punch-outs. It's going to give you a little bit more agility, and kind of grabs the air a little bit more, if you will. And I'm loving them. I picked them up on Amazon, got a couple packs of yellow, a couple packs of pink. That's what came in the set. So I would say go check them out. Now, I know what you want to know about. You want to know about the Mobius Mini. That's what you're here for. I understand that. So what we're going to do, I can tell you my thoughts, but I'd like you to form your own conclusion first and see what you think of it. So what I'm going to do, I went out and I flew it. And I'm going to give you a little spoiler alert. I loved it. I loved the way the footage came out, so let's see what you think. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run the footage from takeoff to landing, straight through, no edits, no anything, and I'm also going to not put any music on there. I'm just going to leave the audio from the Mobius so you can hear what my motors are doing. You can hear how the quad is performing. You can hear how I'm doing these tricks and how they're performing, carrying this extra weight on it. Then what I'm going to do, I wanted you guys to get my immediate impressions, so I did a little on-the-spot vlogging, so we'll run that too, and then we'll come back here for my final thoughts and wrap-up. So let's run that footage. Perfect landing, not in the snow. I would say that flew pretty good. I would say on a 3S pack, it had a little case of the sluggies, like just a smidge. Like it could use a 4S to really rectify that, but it was really, I was just getting a few prop wash oscillations that I normally wouldn't get. Other than that, I was pretty happy with that. So for a 3S pack flying the Mobius Mini, I can see that being a returning fixture. All right, so now you've seen the footage. I thought it was incredible. I was very pleased with it, and I can tell you right now, this Mobius is going to be living on this quad for quite some time unless I find something better or something different. But it may weigh a little bit more than the SQ11, it may be bigger than the SQ11, and it may be more expensive than the SQ11. But I guess in this case, you get what you pay for. And this camera performed wonderfully. As far as how it performed attached to this quad, yes, there was a little bit of a performance sag, but you're adding weight. There's no way to add weight to a quad and not have it have some sort of effect on it. But a lot of that I feel was offset by these props because the amount of change was sort of like just barely noticeable. The thing that amazed me is, as you saw, when I would go into the split S and I flipped upside down, I still had a lot of upward momentum before I started coming back down. And that's carrying this Mobius on here. When I flew with the SQ11 on here and I flew with the stock props, I didn't have as much like on those punch outs. So I would say this right here is a winning combination. Definitely go check out this quad. Definitely check out these props. If you're looking for a small camera to put on there, I gotta go with the Mobius Mini. It is small and it works. And the video I thought was great. So only you know what you think. You saw it. Links for everything I discuss is in the descriptions below. And as always, with the 3D printed parts that I do, if you want to get your hands on one of these, all you got to be is a Patreon subscriber. You help support me. You help support the channel and creating content. And for mounts like this, you only have to be at the $1 tier. So you're at the $1 tier, and all you got to do is say, hey, Tronage, send me out one of those mounts for the Mobius. And all you got to do is pay the shipping, and I'll send you one out. You know, that's it. So that's like your perk for just helping me out. I help you out. I send you out parts. Keep those comments coming because this video was inspired by Chris Thiel with a simple comment of saying, hey, check out the Mobius Mini. And I said, you know what? I will. So if you like what you saw here, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell so you know when I post new content, hit the like if you liked it, hit the don't like if you didn't like it. My name is Tronage, and may all your flights not end in a crash. See ya.
Hey, hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, perhaps you'd like to subscribe. Check out the latest videos. I'm always posting new content. If you'd like, you could also become a supporter on my Patreon page. And while you're at it, here's some other videos that you might like. This one over here is the latest one I posted, and this one I think might interest you. Check them out. See ya.